What is good, y'all? We are here on the LaBoss Show, episode 4, Life Abroad in Portugal. I have a very, very special guest today, Karen Beverly. How you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking.
Good. So we are going to dive in. Again, this is a series, 10 episodes, Life Abroad in Portugal, interviewing people that have made this place home, visiting, whatever it is, getting their experience, and also the local experiences. So Karen, how you doing? How's life in Portugal?
Life in Portugal is very well. I am really loving being here in Portugal. Portugal, so comfortable, just so peaceful. It's really good.
That's amazing. So let's start. Give us the backstory. So how did you end up in Portugal? Why Portugal? Yep.
Yes. So as a little girl, I knew that I would not live in the United States for the rest of my life.
As a little girl?
I was 5.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited. I'm finding this out just like y'all. So, okay.
Yeah, I was 5. My grandmother, who raised me, was a librarian, so we would read books and travel through the books. And so that just gave me a thirst for living somewhere else other than the United States.
Yep. Wow.
So when I said I raised my son and I retired from AT&T and I said, okay, it's time to go. So that was 2018. I started researching where would I go. So I thought about Germany, Spain, Italy, of course.
Okay.
Portugal was not on the radar.
Okay.
Didn't know much about Portugal at all. But once I started my research, Portugal bubbled up to the top. So I said, I need to look at Portugal. And I did. I liked what I saw. In 2019, I made my first exploratory trip, here to Lisbon, Portugal.
Okay.
Fell in love that week. Chose the neighborhood that I would live in that week.
Okay. That's what happens. Wow.
Yes. And then went back to Atlanta, and that's where I moved from. I'm not originally from Atlanta. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. That's my most favorite city.
Okay.
And so I went back and started my research. Remember, I was already retired, so didn't have to worry about work or anything. Announced to my family and friends, and then came to Portugal.
Wow. So that's amazing. So at 5 years old, you knew.
I knew.
Wow.
I knew.
That's amazing. So, okay, upon your research, what would you say was obviously you came and visited, but
Yes.
what would you say just from your research was Portugal's at the top?
Good question. So a lot of things were going on in the United States, and so I started feeling a sense of not being safe, not only as a Black woman, but just not safe, period. I didn't feel like I could safely walk the streets, and I lived in the Midtown area of Atlanta, which is just wonderful, but it's just a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So safety was number one.
Safety.
For sure. And I would say the cost of living.
Okay.
Which that is changing right now.
Yeah. We will touch on that. We will touch on that.
Yeah.
So wow.
But healthcare.
And the healthcare.
Oh my goodness, healthcare. Because we have the universal healthcare of the national healthcare. That was attractive to me because I'm getting older, and in the United States, everywhere as you get older you pay more. So I love the fact that we have the national health care service so that we won't go bankrupt.
Yeah. So that's I normally ask that later, but we'll just talk about that now because I don't think people realize the difference, especially those that have not left the States, how healthcare is accessible all over the world. So let's touch on that. So are you in public? Are you in private? If you don't mind talking about the pricing versus the States,
Right. So I didn't have what a lot of people had high costs in the States because AT&T had a very good healthcare
Yep.
plan.
Okay.
And I've been there for eons.
Mm-hmm.
But coming here, I have had two opportunities to be in the healthcare system.
Okay.
Both the private and the public. So
Okay.
I've researched the public. I haven't had care there per se, just maybe some tests to make a decision as to where I was going to have a certain procedure done. But I've had because I was a runner.
Oh, okay.
I've had
All right. She running. Okay.
I had to have a hip replacement.
Okay.
And I did have it here in the private healthcare system called
COOF, yep.
COOF Teju.
Yep.
And that was a wonderful experience. Have a wonderful orthopedic doctor. So if anything's happening with you, orthopedics, I would recommend you go to him.
Okay.
We're still in touch. Text, whatever question that I have about healthcare. My gynecologist is there. She's wonderful. She just recently found something that was going on with me just by looking at me, and she was right.
Wow.
So it's been really, really good.
Wow. And this is, so it's the universal side, not the private, you said?
No, it's the private.
It's the private,
That's the private. And I had an opportunity to go to the universal side so I could research the universal side. But I chose the private side because what was going on with me, I just felt like it was going to be too much stress to be in a room with other people that could be in pain. And also I just wanted to go on the private side.
No, that's and it's if you don't mind touching upon it, the pricing, would you say compared to the U.S. even private?
Oh my goodness, it's minuscule. Minuscule.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's
you won't go bankrupt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like maybe the cost of even the two surgeries that I had, the cost of a small vacation.
Wow. Two surgeries, the cost of a small vacation. So that's amazing. I'm glad you're getting the treatment and help you need. So let's touch on Portugal a little bit. What would you say now how long have you been here now?
4 years.
4 years. Oh, wow.
The 19th, it will be
4
years.
Happy 4 years coming up. Happy 4 years coming up. So what would you say 4 years now you love the most about Portugal and then the least about Portugal?
So let's talk about the most. The most I love about Portugal are, I would say Lisbon, because that's where I live.
Yep.
It's walkable. So you can't help but get your exercise in. The safety. I can walk the streets, and I have done this, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, coming home, and not have to be concerned about who's watching me, if anybody's going to say something to me, anybody's going to hurt me. I've not had that feeling at all.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. And what would you say the least?
That's hard to say. The least, I would say the Portuguese people are very guarded. So maybe trying to get to know them a little better. And being that, and I'm just going to say this, being that I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, the food is not seasoned.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, because you're from New Orleans, so I'm Haitian, the Creole connection. So,
yes.
Wow. Okay. So
then, I get tired of eating out, so I cook at home.
Okay. So what type of restaurants have you tried? Portuguese restaurants, Brazilian, African restaurants?
All of them.
Wow.
All of them.
She don't play.
You know, after 4 years, you tried them all.
Yeah.
But I do have my favorites. I do like mambo.
Yes.
I like mambo.
Yeah.
I like, there's a Korean type barbecue. It's called Ninja Buns right here in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I like that. And there's a Georgian restaurant, Georgia, the country.
The country, yeah.
Called Nadi's, and I love it too. There's a chicken restaurant, you know, the chicken that they put on the grill.
Yeah.
And it's called, I think it's the oldest chicken restaurant in Lisbon.
Oh wow!
And it's called A Valenciana.
A Valenciana. Is it a Portuguese restaurant?
Yes, Portuguese, but they have the chicken, the fish, but a beautiful outdoor setting. But I think it's the oldest.
Okay,
one.
you got to send me that because
I
I got a whole list of food. I'm a foodie, so.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. And so, what advice would you give, right, to, because you came here as a retiree.
Yes.
So, what advice would you give to other people back home, whether it's not even just the States, but just anywhere that are looking to come retire in Portugal or yet alone retire abroad in general?
So, I think it still has a good bang for your buck in the retirement world, for sure. It's getting, unless something happens, I think that for some retirements, it's getting out of reach, I believe, because of the rents going up.
Yeah.
And we just also got shocked with a 60% increase in our premiums for insurance.
Oh, for the health insurance?
For the health insurance.
Wow.
The private health insurance.
Wow. Okay.
So as it, it is not like what we paid in the United States.
Yeah.
But even in the United States, I was not hit with 60% all at one time.
Yeah. Wow.
So it could have been a gradual thing. So.
Yeah.
But we have to deal with that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's touch upon all this, the rise in everything, right? Health insurance, rent, Lisbon, food. How do you, as someone that, there's two kind of sides to this, right? As someone that has came to move here, what do you think is the reason for this rise and the problem?
Well, greed. Just like the United States, there's capitalism, and I think there's capitalism here too, and people are trying to make more money, and frankly, I just went through a situation where my old landlord, because I've just been in this place since July, and I liked my other place. I had been in it for 3 years, but she wanted to raise the rent $1,500 more than what I was originally paying. Yeah. And so I said no. Wow. So that is something that the Portuguese has low rate wages. Even in professional jobs, the wages are low. So I don't understand how another Portuguese person could do that to their own people. So do you think, so you mentioned greed, do you think the influx of the foreigners, Americans, British, do you think that is the problem? I think so. I think that we're not the problem. I think that people are capitalizing on us coming here and banking on the fact that we may have more money. Yeah. And so, and that's how they price their own people, because out of the market, somebody that's making minimum wage can't live where I used to live. And definitely can't live with a hike of $1,500. Yeah, that's a lot. Right. Wow. So I was in the Uber the other day going somewhere, and the guy, Portuguese driver, he picked me up here, and he said, "You live there?" And I said, "Yes." And of course he asked me, he said, "Well, you're renting or you're buying?" And I said, "I'm renting." And he said, "Well, how much are you paying?" I said, "I don't tell that to strangers." Yeah. But anyway, But I said, well, what's your point? And he said, well, it's really expensive. We can't afford to live in Lisbon anymore, so we have to live outside of Lisbon. And he was pretty angry about that. But he's blaming Americans or Germans or Chinese or other international people coming here. But I said to him, I said, do you realize what happened to me a few months ago? That woman is Portuguese.
There you go. There you go. So it's interesting. It's interesting because yes, everybody's coming in, the foreigners, but we're not taking over these laws. They're being placed by the Portuguese. So it's definitely an interesting topic, and I will have. Stay tuned. The episode coming up, I will have locals here on speaking about their perspective and what they think.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. To have both sides, to have both sides. But yes, it's like you said, the locals that are the Portuguese that are raising the prices and everything, taking advantage. So it's unfortunate. So, but hey, I'm glad you got settled in your new place. So. There you go. So now you're not from Atlanta, but you came from Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay, so what would you say, being 4 years here now, what would you say that you miss most about the States? If anything.
My friends and family.
Okay.
Now, they bring me products here like my seasoning for my food.
Listen. We gotta do it. I gotta come over here when you cooking. You let me know. Let me know.
I know.
Okay.
So they bring that over, so I don't miss that. And
they
come. My friends were just here. I had like 4 sets of friends that were
okay. Amazing.
Last year I had like 13, 15 all at one time.
Wow.
To come. And so they're bringing me things, so I'm not missing that. And then I get to go home for Christmas.
Okay.
To see my granddaughter.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say I miss my seasonings and that kind of thing, but I don't because I get them here. So what I miss is friends and family.
Okay. So that's an amazing answer. Because I get this a lot. I get a lot of people in the comments asking me to ask this. So what advice would you give to that retiree that's looking to move, that is nervous about I'm gonna be away from my friends and family? What would you say to them?
Oh, I have so many wonderful experiences to answer that question.
Yeah, hey, we got more than enough time. give me
and so people are a little anxious or afraid to move because they say, I can't leave my family. So the question that I asked them, a lot of people's family don't live in the same state that they live. How often did you see them? And the answer comes back a lot of times, maybe once a year, maybe not even that. I say, so then they could see you once a year.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get here.
Yeah.
So you don't try not to make that your reason for living your best life somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's for you. A lot of times we give so much to our families and it's not reciprocated. So I didn't get to be this old or this age to continue living my life for other people.
Wow. You preaching right now, Karen. Karen going to church on us. Wow, that's amazing. And you said they've been able to come up and see you, correct?
Yes, they have. I have a slew full of friends that come, loyal. Some of them we've been friends since we were 2 years old.
Wow.
So that's 65 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. 65? You look 45.
Thank you.
Wow.
I hope to continue.
Yeah, you got a lot more to go. So that's amazing. And another thing, because I get that question as well too, one thing that I always tell people and emphasize to people is what you just said, one, because I wouldn't be where I'm from, and then two, I also see it as like, hey, I'm giving friends and family the opportunity to see something new, explore. I'm there vacation spot, you know?
Exactly.
We're not going to see each other every day if I'm back anyway. So, again, it's all about broadening their horizon.
That's such a good point, because my granddaughter was here last summer. She was 7. And it was her first international trip.
At 7 years old.
7 years old. She stayed with me without her parents for 2.5 months.
Wow.
Got to meet all of my international friends. I gave her first trip to Madeira. So she got to have, at 7 years old, to visit an island.
Yeah.
I gave her first trip to Paris, where we went to Disney in Paris.
Oh, yep. Whoo!
Yes, and that was her first trip to Disney.
Yeah.
She got to star in A Midsummer's Night Dream
of
Shakespeare as a fairy. That was her first play.
Wow. In Paris or here in Lisbon?
Here in Lisbon.
Wow.
Yeah, at Botanical Gardens.
So you said she got to go to Disney in Paris. She started a play. So how did she get into the play?
So I met the director.
Okay.
And so the director interviewed her in Estrella Park. I took her to Estrella.
Wow. Okay.
And she chose her to be a fairy.
Wow.
And she got a chance to. There was a black writer that wrote a book.
Okay.
And in Principe Real, she had a book signing. So she got to go to her first book signing as well.
Wow.
So she did a lot of firsts.
A lot of firsts.
Yes.
At 7 years old.
At 7 years old.
Wow. So what people don't also realize, and what she may not realize, that's changing her. Like, just like how you at 5 years old knew, for her now, she's experiencing that at a young age, broadens her horizon. So first time I traveled was to Paris. First time I went abroad. I was in high school. 2015, I went to Paris and Barcelona. From that trip, I knew it. I just knew.
You knew.
I just knew. So straight from college, it was,
wow.
You know, so she might even want to be acting now because of that, you know, like, so, wow, that's amazing.
I'm hoping that it sticks. I hope she's going to be able to come here for 2 weeks in this summer. I can introduce her to Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Italy. So you had Italy on your list. Now you're saying Italy. So have you been before? I've been
to vacations.
Vacations, okay.
In Italy, and I just so I went to Italy in 2016 for the first time.
Okay.
And but then when I got here, I went just in March.
Okay.
To another part of Italy, like Milan and Lake Como.
Yep, I've been in Milan.
You know,
So
took the train over to Switzerland and that kind of thing. So
wow, living your best life. Your best life. So, if you knew, even though you knew at 5 years old you knew you weren't going to stay in the States forever. If you know what you know now, would you have left sooner, or were you always kind of like, I'm going to move once I retire? Why not earlier?
Yes, I would have put things in place sooner, but I felt my path was to raise my son. I adopted him when he was 10, so I felt to take him out of the situation that we were in, meaning just uproot him to another country. It was different from uprooting him to another state. But I needed to make sure that his life was stable. And because adopting a child at 10 rather than a baby is a totally different ball game. So I wanted to make sure that he was well educated, his college was paid for, and then I was free to do whatever I wanted to do.
Wow, God bless you. God bless you. Wow, that's amazing. You sacrificed for your son. Now you live in your best life.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And now I want my granddaughter to catch hold to the things that she can do in her life. And just keep building and keep on going. And I'm here, like you said, you give your family and friends a gift to come on vacation. When my friends come, I have 2 bedrooms. They can stay here with me, but no more than too. Because nobody sleeps on my sofa.
Yep. There you go. Okay. So let's touch upon the POC group.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
A beautiful couple. Tim and Auntie Wilson was running the group, and I met them in person in Estrella Park.
Okay.
And that's my go-to.
I need to check out this park.
Oh, it's one of the best parks. I think it's the best. And so we clicked immediately. They have two beautiful young daughters. They lived in other places, and look at the life that they're giving their kids. And so Yanchi and Tim asked me to come on as a moderator for the group. And I accepted, and then when they left last year, I think it was last year or a year and a half, they've been gone for a while, then I became the admin.
Okay. You running it. Running it.
Yeah, I would like to do more with the group, but for me right now, of all the things that I'm going through, it's a safe place for everybody to fall. And if you notice, there's not toxicity in the group. It's calm, it's peaceful, it's helpful, and that's what atmosphere I wanted to build, we wanted to build, and it's safe. You may notice that there are other ethnicities in the group. But and that's cool because we all are as one, and we can help each other being we're brown or red or yellow or whatever. So it's not just the Black community that we're focusing on. We're focusing on the international community that's sometimes marginalized in their own country.
Wow, that's amazing. And POC group, I will put that in the link below so you guys can check it out. If you're visiting Portugal, looking to relocate in Portugal, it's a great community to be a part of. Karen is doing an amazing job.
You.
So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So in terms of, and how long has the group been
it was founded, I'll have to really look that up. I got here in 2019, so it probably 2019 or maybe even before.
Okay, so that's about 4 years.
4 years.
4 years now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. And how would you say your experience has been meeting the community here, Americans here, like? I
want to talk about that because just recently I did have a surgery in July, and it was a big surgery.
Sorry to hear that.
And thank you. And the other admin of the group, Winsome, put together this WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Because they knew I was faced with moving the weekend before I was having surgery.
Oh, wow.
So what was going on? I had doctor's appointments prior to that. I mean, like 3-4 months prior to having the surgery. So she put together this WhatsApp group, and just a lovely name, We Love Karen. And so many people signed up on that WhatsApp to assist me in going to doctor's appointments. So the community was built. And we never know why we do some things that we do. But building that community 3-4 years ago, that's the same community that I got love back from when I needed that love. So I never went to the doctor alone.
Wow.
So we had people that would go with me, and several people at some points, because this is what I love about the healthcare here, and especially in the private sector that I've been a part of. They don't have a problem with you bringing in
other people.
And 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I had 5.
Okay, wow.
All at one time.
Oh, you had the squad. With you.
Yeah, so they don't have a problem. They say the more, the merrier. They know that your friends are an essential part of your healing, and the love that they could get and the care that they give you. So they accept all of those. So when the doctors would come from behind their desk they hug, they touch,
Wow.
and those are things that and another thing that happened with the group, they knew that I was going to be down for like a month. That was recovery, and I couldn't do anything for myself, hardly a lot for myself. I couldn't cook.
She let it cook.
Yes. Yeah. The doctors don't want you up there standing on your feet stirring or whatever. So they put together a 3-week spreadsheet of people that would bring me home cooked meals.
Oh my goodness!
For 3 weeks. That's what the community did.
Yeah.
And they were delicious. I had international. I had Lebanese, Asian, African.
Wow.
All kinds of cuisines. I had Southern cuisines. I had everything. It was delicious. And that gave them an opportunity, because I couldn't go anywhere, to visit with me.
Yeah.
So we visited together, we laughed, we watched movies, we did, it was just wonderful, and I never felt alone. So the moral to that story is there are a lot of people that are here that are single, and I've met a lot of their parents. So seeing that love come to me made the other single people that are here know, if anything happens to you, then we've got you.
Yeah.
We're going to take good care of you. Tell your parents that you're going to be just fine.
Fine, yeah. Wow, that is amazing. I'm happy you had that community in the time of need you had, and that gives you more awe and peace and comfort to this home. So
it really does. And speaking of, when they heard that I would have to move the weekend before my surgery, and I hired movers, they said, well, we'll come and pack a box. I said, I haven't done that since college, no.
Yeah.
And hire some movers. But they insisted. They said, okay, just tell us when the movers are going to be at the new house. And I text and said, in the group, I said, the movers are here. We're going to be there at a certain time. 12 people showed up. Wow. So that they could help the movers to unpack the boxes. And when they left, on Monday, everything was in place just as you see it right here.
My goodness.
Everything. They did me so well.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to, I say thank you, and they say that's all you need to do is say thank you, but it just feels like I need to do more, because I went to sleep on that Monday night, very restful, in this beautiful environment, and then the next day I woke up and I had surgery, because they put in all of the work to make sure that I was comfortable. So that's what the community does.
That's amazing. Wow. You right at home.
Yes.
You right at home. At home. Wow. So listen, well, there you have it. Karen Beverly, another amazing addition to the channel. I'll let you talk about my hoodie.
Yes.
So,
because I want one. I noticed the whammy.
Whammy. Yep.
Okay, so tell me about that.
Yeah, there you go. So whammy stands for We Ain't Make It Yet. Life is a journey and we ain't make it yet. Emphasize on we, because we are all in this life journey together, and none of us have to go through it alone. And that's what this brand is embodying: togetherness, inspiring you to chase your purpose, live your dream, the God purpose has for your life. So
it's beautiful, and I love the zippers. So I want the zippers, but I also want some with buckles.
Okay.
Can you do that for me?
Okay, we'll see. I gotta call them up. So she getting her orders in. So make sure you get your orders in for the hoodies. Season 2 is coming soon. Last question. So if there was, you got a chance to visit Portugal.
Yes.
But if there was a service that did the work for you on the ground while you were abroad, how would you use that? Would you find that helpful? What would you say?
Yes. And matter of fact, even when I went back to Atlanta to start the work, there was a service, and it was very inexpensive and all. They're not in business anymore, but they were very, very helpful.
Okay.
You hear people say, "Oh, you could do it yourself," but sometimes, you're really busy.
Yeah.
I was retired, but also I took that year of waiting to come here to visit all of my friends and family in the United States. So I call it my friendship tour.
Yeah.
And so I went to them, so I went to Colorado, I went to New Orleans, of course, I went to Baltimore, Maryland, I went to California, I went all over visiting my friends, saying goodbye or see you later.
Yeah.
And so that was, for me, I didn't have time to do all of the work myself, so I hired a service, and nothing's wrong with that. We do have sometimes judgmental people say, "Oh, well, you could do it yourself," but sometimes it's your choice. You make time for those things, but some things you don't want to make time for, and it's perfectly okay.
Yeah. Wow, she's preaching. So I do that. So Portugal Property Inside Tours, I will drop the link below. Being your service on the ground, viewing properties for you of interest, giving you feedback on the neighborhood, just like you mentioned, videos, landmarks. Here is the hospital, here is where the grocery store will be, so you have more of an inside view of everything around. So again, I'll drop a link below if you are interested, and being the boots on the ground. So Portugal Property Inside Tour.
Very helpful.
Yeah, we'll touch more on that. So listen, well, there you have it, the LaVoss Show, episode 4. Karen, an amazing gem living here in Portugal, found her home, retiring. Make sure you drop comments in below, ask me questions that you would like to hear from the next interviewee, and what type of people. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing more foreigners, locals, to get different perspectives. Make sure you like this video. Again, comment and subscribe to the channel. We are out of here.